Hello, my friends. I am Jaime Elizondo from Real World Ranching, where our goal is to help you achieve maximum productivity while improving your land the fastest. When I was young, and I listened to my father, and I went to the ranch since I was like 6 years old, because it was my grandfather's before, and I could see how the cows grazed. It was in the tropics with warm season perennials, but the cows graze selectively. They always go for the best parts first, which are in the top, and the leaves, which have higher digestibility, and they try to reject the stems, especially in tropical grasses that are much higher in fiber and lower in energy. So that brings me to mind what I have seen here in the United States, especially like in the Midwest, where they have tall fescue and cool season perennials. There is a program called Tall Grazing, of which I have heard a lot of criticism and also good things. In that type of program, they try to always allow the grass plants to grow tall before grazing them, and they also want these plants to remain tall or with a very high residual or litter after grazing. Litter, that was the plant, but after trampling. And allowing the grass plants to grow tall before grazing is a good thing. That I know because the roots grow deeper and stronger. But allowing the livestock to select the best and leave the rest is not good for the plant's energy reserves and very bad for the establishments of new seedlings of your best forage species. If you know of someone that would like to hear this podcast, please share the link with them, okay? Now, if you are one of my students of the Total Grazing program, you know that we need to have our livestock consume the grass as efficiently as possible to get more days of grazing per acre, because that will allow a longer rest period between grazing again. And there are other aspects that we're going to talk about when referring to tall grazing. When livestock graze the grass at a tall stage, it may be very low quality, if on warm season perennials or in certain times of the year. Think a tall fescue in the summer in northern Missouri when it's hot and dry. I have been there and I've seen it. All stemmy fescue went to seed, cows wouldn't eat it, and they just went down in body condition. That's what happens. So we need to consider that it is in the green season when we need our livestock to put on weight and good performance. This means we need to graze our grasses when they have good quality. That means young, in the green season, and grazing tall, they may not have high quality. Managing your grazing for high quality forage in the non-growing season or dormant season is a big mistake, as what determines productivity and profitability is the number of productive animals we can maintain at a low cost in the dormant season. I explained this in depth in the Optimal Birthing Season Masterclass in my Fat Wallet Ranchers exclusive membership that my students can access to keep improving, and to remain in contact. You see, new questions come and new problems come, and it's good to remain in contact. So this is the main mistake of those advocating grazing tall all the time. Quality. Then comes the subject of too much shade cast by tall grass. Shade that will kill growing points and lead to larger spaces without grass in between, bare soil or invasive species. When the seedlings are struggling to establish, grazing tall and leaving a high residual, even if it is possible to trample it when it is not warm season perennials high in fiber, the thatch will shade the seedlings, killing them from lack of sunlight. So why do people recommend tall grazing programs? Don't they observe or monitor? Where is the science behind such recommendations? It will look good for 1 or 2 years, and then it will be obvious that the grassland and the soil are not improving. Another subject is that we know that green leaves produce energy through photosynthesis, while stems consume energy by respiring. We were taught this in school. So when we subtract the energy consumed by respiration, we get the net energy left for productivity and to increase the energy reserves in roots and crowns after the energy reserves in roots and crowns are replenished, then the soil microorganisms can grow fat with the excess energy returned via fatty root exudates to them. Humus is created by the bodies of microorganisms being digested, with the last digestion being carried out by fungi. 80 to 90% of new humus is created that way and not through litter. If you want to know more about it, look at my YouTube channel under Real Wealth Ranching by Jim Elizondo, and there is a video explaining it. Okay, by grazing tall in a selective way, what is left in the plant are the stems, which continue to respire and drain the energy reserves in roots and ground, leaving nothing for soil microorganisms while future productivity is greatly reduced. This selective grazing of the top 10 to 30% of the plant means that what is left will be very low quality if it's used as a standing hay in the difficult times of the year. If you were to cut hay, would you put your livestock first to eat the best and leave the rest, and you will put up that hay? No, it will be very low quality. The same happens when you take the best parts of the plant, trample, and leave the rest, and then try to call that stockpile or standing hay. It is not. It is rejected forage. Now, while you can have good individual animal performance by tall grazing, if you have a low stocking rate, it will never approach the potential per acre productivity that the total grazing program can give you. Conclusion and recap. Number one, grazing tall all the time increases interplant spacings, which means a smaller solar panel per square yard. Two, trying to create new humus with the high residue left after tall grazing is not efficient, as most humus is created by the digestion of soil microorganisms fed by root exudates, and these are regulated in quantity and quality by the leaf-to-stem ratio in the regrowth. Three, when we come back to a pasture that has been grazed tall, its regrowth will be of poor quality in the dry season or the summer slump. We need to have a program that gives us high-quality regrowth in the green season. Four, the excessive shade produced by tall grazing year-round will kill growing points and seedlings from lack of sunlight. This has been observed in many environments. 5. Leaving the stems attached to the ground after a selective tall grazing means there will be less energy available for production of grass, to feed your livestock, and to create new humus via root exudates. Our livestock also requires high digestibility, and the green leaves and brown leaves contain higher digestibility than the stems. So we want to produce a better leaf-to-stem ratio in the regrowth. 6. The stockpile created via tall grazing will be much lower quality than the one created with the total grazing program. 7. Stocking rate and pounds of livestock produced per acre will be much lower by grazing tall year-round. That is my conclusion. Well, I hope you like this podcast and you can put it into practice. Be sure to comment on it or send us an email at info@rwranching.com, and I will be happy to reply. Thank you, and until next time, also subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube, or join me for the weekly email at www.rwranching.com/join. See you later.